Something in the revolutions has come to light, and I've told you for a couple of years that my gut has said something is wrong with Google, and I want to tell you why I'm wary of Google and what is coming to light. And I want you to understand, I don't think that they're rounding anybody up. I just want to point out a few things. I'm on my third reason why you should look into Google. The third one is they're not working hard enough on your privacy. Privacy advocates attack Google Buzz for gigantic leaks in information that users thought was private information. They had the Why Spy incident. You remember this? This is where Google Street View cars downloaded emails, passwords, and other information from private, unsecured wireless networks all around America. Google apologized, but the FCC is believed to be investigating. But I don't think they're probably investigating too hard with all of the connections to the White House. In an interview with the Wall Street Journal, Schmidt, the former CEO who just stepped down 2 weeks ago, talked about where he sees the future of Google. Listen carefully. Quote, "We know roughly who you are, roughly what you care about, roughly who your friends are. Google also knows to within a foot of where you are." Mr. Schmidt leaves it to the listener to imagine the possibilities. If you need milk and there's a place to get milk nearby, Google will remind you to get it. It will tell you there's a store ahead that has a collection of horse racing posters, that a 19th century murder you've been reading about took place on the next block. And that's the other part of this. Sometimes the way Schmidt and Google as a whole think, quite honestly, when you start looking into their stances, is creepy. Quote, "I don't believe society understands what happens when everything is available, knowable, and recorded by everyone all the time." He says, and he predicts, I saw this video and I think he was serious, that every young person will one day be entitled to automatically change his or her name on reaching adulthood in order to disown youthful hijinks stored on their friends' social media sites. And let's not forget this super classic. Quote, "We don't need you to type it all because we know where you are with your permission. We know where you've been with your permission. We can know more or less what you're thinking about." End quote. Again, all of this may not matter to you. Google is one of the most competent companies on earth. Their products work really well, and it is almost impossible to avoid them this side of unplugging your computer. We'll have tips on the radio show and at glennbeck.com tomorrow if you decide to try to avoid companies like Google or other companies like them, and make sure your privacy is protected as much as possible. All I have to say on this is there is a strange thing going on with this search engine and our government, and we all have to choose who we do business with. For years, the left whined about Microsoft. They were too big, they were too powerful, they couldn't be trusted, they had to be stopped. They switched from Internet Explorer to Firefox, and they always got positive press coverage in the media, standing up against a big evil company. If you begin to have questions on Google, will the press treat you as that or a conspiracy theorist? I encourage you to do your own homework on Google. I don't recommend you Google it, but do your own homework. And everyone else that we talk about on this program, don't take my word for it. Look into it yourself, because you must make your own decision. But when it comes to a very hard left-leaning company who are in tight with very hard left organizations and our government, and they have been loose with privacy, my mind has been pretty much made up now. I think so.